Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon and today I'm showing you how to set up, play and review the game My Little Scythe. This is by AmassGames and I have already given an overview for this video, and this is going to be, obviously, if you want to know a bit more about the grandmother and the theme about this, whereby we are seekers, we're a pair of seekers and we're looking to go out and ultimately be the most successful out there in this certain kingdom. If you want to know more about this and Castle Overfree, please check out my unboxing video where I do talk about the overview for the game. We're going to play through certain characters today, characters that I've played the least, which has been United Kingdom Bear, which is a white base, and the Musk Oxen Kingdom with a blue base. So, as I set this up, you've also got here an assessment sheet, an achievement sheet, as you go through and complete things with various amount of players, certain ages, certain months of the year, obviously the first time we complete these certain characters. Aside from that, there's some other sides over here. The first winner to win this trophy. It's the first time we've won certain type of things to make sure you get some variety. And lastly, you've got other bits here such as when someone has been particularly young, then obviously how well have they been to obviously start getting better and better at these things. Okay, so in this particular game, this is what's kind of known as a 3x or a 4x kind of game, which is expand, exploit, exterminate, amongst other things. And we're not exterminating this game because we're looking to obviously expand and get better stuff. We're looking to exploit and get what we have. And also we're looking to explore. So this is actually how you put stuff away. It's very important you do follow that because things can fall out. As for example, when we take this out of the box, you'll see that if you're not placed in the right positions, these things can fall out. So there's certain ways you should store it if you, like me, like to store it vertically. Okay, so we have this game tray system. You're going to take one player board per person. I'm just going to take one out for now because I'll be setting up for a solo playthrough as a separate video. You'll also need to take your respective characters. So as I mentioned, I'll be playing as these guys against these guys, and they do have set locations need to go. You'll need to take your respective items as well. So I'll be playing as the white character over here, this guy here, as I haven't played them as much as the others yet. And I'll be taking out these tokens and take out blue. Everything else can just go away for the time being. And of course, there's a certain location this goes. So whilst I'm still doing this, as I tend to do, as you can get complete how to set up, play and review, by all means you can skip it. But lots of people like to understand actually how do you set these games up. And I'll come back onto this bit once this board is laid out. So this game takes under an hour to play. And I'll tell you about that review as I get onto it in due course. But in the meantime, please hit the thumbs up and that subscribe and share button. And of course, a notification bell as well if you haven't already. And lastly, also check out the comments and descriptions for any updates. I don't anticipate to make any mistakes, but if there's any things you like to do, things you'd like to do different in the game, please let me know. And lastly, if you look out into, there's the back of the board, by the way, there's nothing there, just obviously there's those various seekers that you can play as. There's no difference between them. And this is the little sister or the little brother to the game Scythe, a very popular game. I'll tell you my thoughts as a comparison between them as per the overview video, and you can check out various playlists such as other how to set up, play and review videos where there are hundreds of games on there, and also various other playlists such as those unboxing preview videos which lets you know about other things that are coming along. So as I said, this could have been set up in advance, but I want to make sure you're fully aware of actually everything that's there, because especially like a recipe, when you follow something, it's nice to see things as they're done. So you're going to need your player board. This player mat here is what you're going to need, and you're going to need to place it just ready for when you want to play something out. You're going to take your respective tokens. These represent trophies and victory points. The first person to reach 4 triggers that final round. Everyone else has one clockwise turn, and if you happen to get out 4, well, yeah, you won't get another turn, but there might be the chance that you're then winning the game. So the other character is going to be played out to one side. I won't be laying out player board for them because, as mentioned, this will be also the same setup for a solo mode, especially as a 2. And this review does include my comparisons when I'm playing at a higher player count, such as 3 and 4, and it does go to 5 and 6, and you can play it cooperatively against the board when you want to play against his opponents as well. So everything's now put away. We've got a friendship token here. It's going to start on level 3. You'll also need a pie token, and as per this marker here, it's going to start on level 3 over there. And the same thing is going to be occurring for the baddie as well, but depending on the baddie level, that could start with a lower player count. Don't worry about that yet. And now we're going to talk about this. We're going to be populating the map. Well, in some time in another, we are going to come across these pie dials, so I'll leave one out as well. Everybody's going to take one of these cards. It's a secret thing that basically put a power-up within the game. I like to go through them all together, so obviously have a chance to play everything at least once. In this case, I'm magical. My trophy is magical spells. Earn the trophy, remember trying to get 4, and earn this trophy on your turn by reaching 2 magical spells instead of 3 and having at least 1 other trophy earned. I'll come back to that one and I'll leave it face up just because, of course, this is a video mode. Take these cards, these are power-up cards. These allow you to improve what you can do on your turn. And you've got other things as well. That's for the move action. This is for make action. Don't worry, I'll explain that in a moment. You have various other tokens too, which I might just leave as a board set up for the time being. This can be packed away. We have quest cards, which come out as well. These are things which basically means as soon as you pick up a quest token, it means that you might fulfill a quest, and if you do, you can gain some benefits. If you cannot complete those benefits straight away, you always have the option to say no thanks, and on that occasion, you can get a lesser bonus. A bit of a push-your-luck element. Aside from that, there is this Ultima. This is named after the Italian game Viticulture, and this is various things set up for that solo game, which I will all leave off to the side, like I said, for that solo game afterwards. So this is going to go back away. It's no longer needed, and this is with game trays. You can see exactly where things come. You're going to spin this around. It's going to tell you how you're going to set up the board initially. I tend to start at the top of the board. So based on that, not knowing, of course, what it was, I'm now going to grab my respective resources. Of course, there will be more to grab in due course. Don't worry about that. As you can see, things go rolling. First time actually that's happened so far. So this is going to come out here, and we're starting here. It is actually going to start on what's called a portal. Portal allows you to move different places. Don't worry, I'll come back to that in due course. We're laying out some apples here, some sapphires, and these, well, gems also known as. And throughout this game, ultimately, they're referred to as tokens. You have dice as well. And lastly, in this box, we have got some spells. These allow you to power up and be a bit more powerful. So let me move that into that in a moment. And I had to deliberately lay this board out so that we can keep an eye out on space, so that it's zoomed out enough that I can actually show this board off to one side. Okay, so this can now go away. And lastly, we have, keep saying lastly, we have our little tokens to show you where you're going back to. And if you're playing it with more than 2 players, ultimately, where is their base that they're going to? This can all go back in the box for the time being. And if you want to see any kind of things, you can just rewind the video to see about how you can pack things away. Okay, so we have got our board here. We have got it set up with everything respectively needed for it. And I think at this moment in time, we can actually have the box just in shot as well. Excellent. So, on our starting stuff, we've got things we can do. Now we need to talk about your actions and what you can do. So we talked about how you can win the game. You're trying to reach 4 of these tokens, these trophies. And by the end of the game, as soon as you hit 4, you can have 1 occurring on 1 turn. On that final turn, everybody else can get as many as they need to. This can go away as well. So, these dice, let's talk about your actions. You can go to one place. If you want to go to when it's your next turn, you need to actually do a different thing, a different action. But here, you can do another action, such as go to seek. So let's start on the left-hand side. We are looking to move. Well, let's take our respective characters. So we have the blue characters down here, these white characters up here, these bears, the United Kingdom bears, or United Bears, United Bear Kingdom. So for my first action, what I can choose to do is move. I can move them independently, I can move up to 2 spaces, or if they're carrying a token, 1 space. And that's tokens in this case are sapphires or gems and apples. So I'm going to move this one here and this one here. I'm then going to take this and chuck it in and get whatever it is. So this is a quest. This is Sir Nephrises. I remember this guy before. You pay 2 pies. Well, I do currently have some pies. And you gain 1 magic spell and 1 friendship. Okay, so I can choose to pay 2 pies. I do have 2 pies. I gain 1 magic spell and 1 friendship. So I get one of these cards, which I'll talk about in a moment. And I get 1 friendship, which might be quite good as well. Or I can do join him. I can gain 1 magic spell again, gain 2 gems, and lose 2 friendship. Well, if you go below this zone here, if you go into this zone, you can't earn any trophies. So that might not be a good idea. Aside from that, you can say no thanks. If you can't do any of these things, you can gain 1 magic spell for visiting, so you get that anyway. So you can gain it. They're all to do with spells, but in this case, you're paying something ultimately to do something. So let's talk about these trophies. You're trying to get at least 4 to win the game, and this way over here is friendship. So if you reach 8 friendship, they're going up here. You'll see how in a moment. Then you can place out a trophy. If you go over here, it's completing 2 quests, and right now we could complete 1 of them. Over here, it's getting out 3 spells. Over here, it's completing 2 quests. So this one's getting to these different actions over here, the move and make upgrades. Here is delivering 4 gems to the castle. Here delivering 4 apples to the castle. Here winning a pie fight, and here gaining 8 pies. So right now I can complete this quest. I can pay 2 pies, so I'm reducing my pies by 2 and gain 1 magic spell and 1 friendship. That is now mine. This is the discard pile, and I gain a friendship. So already I'm improving my friendship track. I'm actually getting my chance to get 3 spells, and with those spells they can help me with fighting. Well, that's my turn done. It's now someone else's turn. When it's my turn again, I can't do move, I've got to do something else. So now I can seek or make. Well, let's say they've just moved here and here. And now I'm going to seek. So, tell you what, I will not move there, I'll move over here. Just to see if I get a bit of luck. So you're picking between either rolling 2, the red dice, and 1 blue, or 2 blue, 1 red. In this case, I'll leave a blue and just roll these guys. And that's where you're going to populate. So you're populating a quest on white. So what I tend to do is leave one on there. And ultimately, it's going to entice me to try and go there. If anybody, this cannot go on a space where there already is a person, because ultimately it's going to trigger it to resolve. If that's got an empty space, if there's nowhere space free to go, then that won't be placed out at all. Okay, what's next? We have yellow, red, and that's really handy because if I want to, and I'm going to, if I happen to place out one of the tokens over there, this is where there isn't actually a space on the board where it shows you where you can do it. If you happen to place out any tokens where there's somebody already, you can, as per the information on the board, you can gain yourself a friendship, and I will do that. Why? Because for a start, it can help me get another objective. So things are constantly always working in your favour typically. Now, what's the rest of the dice? We have a green, so we now want to place an apple. Always an apple because it's an apple symbol. And that's going to go on green. Let's place it maybe near the centre. Maybe I can help get the other thing to the castle. And on red, we're placing a gem. So I'm going to do it again. And of course, what's that doing? It gives me another trophy position up there. Okay, that's it done. That's what I did. They're going to do something else. Let's just say they move. Now remember, they can move 2 spaces, or if they're carrying something, 1. Let's just try and do something different. Let's go over here. So right now I can't do anything because I haven't got enough stuff. So I might make again, but this time let's try and make the other action just to show you what you can do. So we're doing that action, and right now we're getting 2 green, so we're getting 2 gems on green. I might just layer up this one. We've got on white, we have 1 apple, and I might also stick it myself. And over here, we have got, again, an apple, and it's on yellow. So that's another friendship. Now it's their turn. Let's just say they move here. And as an example, the portal, they can jump across. So let's just say instead they did this. They go 1 and 2. That's how it works. And now it's controlling stuff. It's taking what maybe I wanted to do. And this guy goes 1 onto here. So that's my turn again. I could keep doing this. That is going to get me another trophy. But instead I could choose to do something different. Let's say I've now got enough stuff because it works like telepathy. I go over here, telekinesis. I've got 2 apples, so they're spent as I have them together. And I get 2 pies. So now I've gone up the track on pies. So that's what happened. Now let's say there's a fight that's caused. Let's say they're moving into me for whatever reason. So they're moving in to attack me. Now I've got some pies. They don't know what this value is. It's secret. It's a value between 2, 3, 4, 5. I can spend up to my pie value, and I've got 3. So because I've got a card, they don't know what I have. They don't know if I'm even going to play it. But let's just say I'm doing it. Well, they're attacking, so they lose 1 friendship. Now they can't gain any trophies anyway. And I'm just going to go with 2 nothing. They reveal, attackers do win ties, by the way. So they go for this, they go for no pies. Well, let's say they spend 1 pie. In this case, they spend a pie, so they spent it, reveal it. I chose not to spend any, I lose my card. But what I've gained another trophy. So I've got a trophy for winning the pie fight. Now they have an option. They have to come back, so they have to come back to their starting base. Down the bottom here, and they can either get a spell card or 2 pies. Let's say they get 2 pies. And that's how the game goes on. That's covered everything in the game so far. So we've talked about seeking, populating more stuff on the board. We've talked about making, getting various things down here. We've talked about moving. Now this one down here allows you to get an upgrade. And that's really cool because it improves your game for the rest of the game. So if you, as one of your moves, move 1 of your seekers directly onto any of the other seeker space and gain a friendship. So all the games long, you could do that. Now, let's start talking about this review, because as soon as you reach certain spaces, strategically, people are like, oh, I don't need to worry about friendship. Or do they? Do they really think you're going to worry about that? Maybe you don't, or maybe you do and actually think, well, they know I probably don't need to get any more friendship, but I don't want them to. And that's why there's a certain balance going on between watching that. So there's a lot of collaboration. you're going to fight, you want to fight some people, sometimes you just want to get pies, and there's definitely some synergies going on with the various things. Gorgeous artwork, gorgeous miniatures, very, very nice. The solo mode I highly rate as well. I really much enjoy the solo mode. Again, check out that playthrough for that as well. The rulebook's very good. There's a resolve action, which is a bit quirky. But ultimately, yeah, you have to complete that quest straight away. And let's talk about the crux of it. Is this better than Scythe? In my view, it is. I've played Scythe with multiple characters, multiple times, multiple player counts, upgraded pieces, multiple expansions. I prefer the streamlined version of my Little Scythe. I think it just gels, it's quick, very quick turns. You know what you're doing. Some people might find it a bit too, supposedly too easy. I don't think that. I think I give this more than a 7 out of 10, which is what I give Scythe. I give it slightly higher than that. I think it's very good. I enjoy playing it. I've enjoyed playing as 3 and as a 4 in particular. Of course, as a 2, it's very back and forth, but it's quick. There's no worries whatsoever. And there's someone always engaging with your turn because you're saying, oh, please put resource on my thing because, well, you might want that resource. You're using that resource to get more pies because you might want pies. You might want to get spell cards. Why? Because you're either trying to get those 3 to then, you won't discard them as well when you reach it because then you can then use one of them to try and get a pie fight win as well. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. There's an expansion which I haven't tried out yet. There is space in the box for the expansion. And like I said, I've highly enjoyed playing My Little Scythe. Again, let me know your thoughts. Have you enjoyed this? Have you tried it out? What's your thoughts on it as well? Nice linen quality rule books as well. I like the little story and stuff behind it. As I said, it's initially this game was by Stonemaier Games as well, and Stonemaier Games was, Scythe was made by Jamie Stigmeyer, but this time it's by a father and daughter combo with an illustration by someone who is almost the same spelling, but actually is not a relative, it looks like, different spelling. So that has been My Little Scythe. I hope you found that of interest. Thanks very much for watching.